At least one protester has been arrested at a Free Palestine protest at Columbia University. Student demonstrators covered the campus after the university's president was grilled by Congress on how the school is handling anti-Semitism.
There has been disciplinary action taken against students who have chanted "from the river to the sea," which you have testified is anti-Semitic.
We have some disciplinary cases ongoing around that language.
The school's president there and also 3 school officials answered questions about campus safety amid the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. The president of the university, Minouche Shafik, admits Columbia wasn't prepared for the tensions the Israeli-Hamas war have ignited on campus.
When I first started at Columbia, our policies, our systems, and our enforcement mechanisms were not up to the scale of this challenge.
Okay.
They were designed for a very different world. They were designed for a student cheating on an exam.
But we are in a very different world now. Joining us is Columbia alumni, Dr. Sheila Nazarian, live from Los Angeles. Thank you for your time. What did you make of the comments by Columbia's president in the midst of a very heated discussion?
Well, I think President Shafik had the distinct advantage of going second after the other 3 college presidents were grilled. So when she was asked, do you think calling for the genocide of Jews on campus violates campus policy, she quickly said yes, as opposed to the other 3 presidents who have gone in front of Congress before her, who hedged and hesitated on answering that question. However, the thing that surprised me a lot was "from the river to the sea" and other genocidal chants against Jews. She basically said that they came up with the plan to put them on a separate part of campus. What I was happy to hear from the members of Congress is their pushback on this, saying there's no consistency here. If the Ku Klux Klan came on campus and called for the genocide of Blacks, they would not be given a separate part of campus to chant those things. It would be shut down and it would not be tolerated. So why is it tolerated when it's about the Jews? And that's what we need to continue pushing back on these presidents. These campuses right now, this is a test of their moral health. This is a moment where they have to make the right decisions for the safety of all of their students, because what happens and how they deal with the Jews, if it's kept consistent, all of the students will feel safe on campus.
And if that president is not able to remove those protesters from campus, to have some accountability for those who are anti-Semitic and who are threatening Jews, should she leave like Harvard's president did?
Absolutely. We need to hold all of our officials, whether they're presidents on campus or whether they're in Congress, when they show their true colors or they show their lack of ability to make people feel safe, when that is their job, then they need to leave and make room for someone who can get the job done.
I want to play an exchange, Dr. Nazarian. There was a lot of concentration around a tenured Columbia professor during the testimony, Dr. Yosef Massad. Several representatives mentioned Massad by name after he referred to the Hamas attack as awesome, among other things. Here's part of that exchange.
President Shafik, you recently said, and I quote, "It is absolutely unacceptable for any member of the Columbia community to promote the use of terror and violence," end quote. Do you condemn Professor Massad's statement, and has he faced any consequences for it?
Congressman, I do condemn his statement. I am appalled by what he said.
Any consequences?
He has been spoken to.
Spoken
and I
to?
should just, and I think you could.
So support of terrorism is acceptable if you're a Columbia professor?
Not at all.
What do you make of this, and should he be removed?
Of course he should be removed. Imagine any other minority group being attacked, massacred, beheaded, and raped, any other minority group, and a professor comes and says that was awesome. Do you think they would be tolerated?
I certainly hope not, yeah.
So why are they tolerated when it's about the Jews? Jews count, and we will make sure that in the United States, where my family escaped to from Iran, where Jews were not tolerated, we will not allow America to go down like Iran did, and we will not allow the indoctrination and the brainwashing of our young people on campuses to hate and to tolerate things like rape and murder because they are so brainwashed against Jews that they have gone against every principle and moral belief that they believed prior to October 7th.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.